Crownie react.
We're giving this control? Oh, we can't hook the looks here. We are incapable. We can't hook? Hook? Hook to make sure ult? Hook? 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 Hooker! Oh my god! I can't play in this. I can't play in this.
Good foot. Crownie, you're so funny. Fuck, I missed it. I don't know what he said. Wait, I need to rewatch
we are
it.
giving this control? Oh, we can't hook the looks here. We are.
Right. Kiting. Okay. Darius.
I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. This server needs to be purged. I need to go R-Fast the Lich King mode. I need to purge this server. I need to purge it. This server needs to be purged until nobody's left.
Bro, the World of Warcraft references are just getting too much in his head. Another Crownie clip.
Also getting tilted when his ADC goes from 4-0 to 9-8. Can you please send me your OPGG? Are you fucking
Crownie? He didn't say that. His mic is muted. And then he flashes in to die.
How is this game on me? Are you fucking dumb?
That's a good clip. Do you care about Doombots coming back? Probably been asked before. I think it's gonna be a fun game mode that you will play a couple of times. Try to figure out the strategies, how to beat them, and then the replay value long term just won't be there, right? Because once you beat Doombots, there's nothing really else to do. You don't want to just keep going and doing the same thing again. I was saying that a new in-game that like you make one mistake, you give 1k shutdown to Teemo accidentally, and then the game will just be so hard to play because that champion is just Thanos, scalar. Like giving Teemo 1k shutdown is harsher than giving Kassadin a 1k shutdown. How does that make you feel, Twitch chat? Do you guys feel okay with the fact that Teemo scale is harder than Kassadin? Personally, I feel weird about it. I also feel weird that people can reach Challenger playing Teemo, because this champ should be beginner friendly and not high MMR viable, in my opinion. Late game Mushroom Teemo is more fun to exist than Unreal Lane Bully Teemo zoning you even from XP. But like, you have to understand, that is Riot's strategy regarding everything. The moment something is good in lane, they nerf it and make it better late game. They make the same thing for every champion in league. Like, I can give you so many examples of that. LeBlanc, for example, current version of LeBlanc is a lot less about lane and a lot more about scaling. Current version of Annie is a lot more about scaling and a lot less about lane. Syndra rework is basically nerfing her early game, so she's a better scaler. Right? Everything, like Renekton is a good example. Renekton used to be mega early game skewed champion. Then Riot swapped his numbers around and made him a lot more about scaling. They do the same formula to every champion in this game that has a frustration problem of early game. Like Teemo obviously has a frustration problem in early game because he's a ranged top laner that bullies and blinds you and poisons you. So I guess Riot just makes him a mega scaler. You can go Dawn Shield and go fine in lane versus a Teemo, and then late game hits and you walk into one shroom and you die. That is crazy. I think this game definitely has a lot more late game champions than early game champions. A good example of an early game champion is like Kalista or Draven. But even with Kalista, Riot has tried the same strategy. Even though yes, Kalista is still an early game champion, Riot has skewed her numbers towards late game and nerfing her early game. They did that a lot. So Kalista is even falling into that category. Yeah, Pyke is an early game champion. But Riot also has a hard time balancing Pyke. His ban rate is insanely high. He has a massive frustration problem because he's so OP early game. It makes a lot of bot lane matchups completely unplayable, right? Shaco's good early? I think Shaco's good late too, to be honest. You should try Karma mid lane. No, that's useless. I think in modern League of Legends, when scaling is so important and golden XP is utilized so well, I think supportive characters like Karma and Lulu will not work because they're too skewed towards support and they don't utilize golden XP well. For example, the reason why something like Zealand works is because he scales with golden XP much better, especially with XP. Why did Renata fall off so hard? Renata has this weird problem where she's not particularly strong at anything, I guess. I don't know. What is her identity? Her identity is that she's like a necromancer that revives people, stalls time with ult, and then she has a random hook and a random shield in the kit. And then she's like a range support that kind of functions as a melee support. Renata's problem is that too much... Yeah, I mean, I commented on this the other day, but too much of her power is probably in ult and W. And W was already mega nerfed over time. I don't even think that spell is that strong anymore. So her ult just has a lot of her power budget, and her E has like... Her E has to be kind of a bad spell because else it's just a free poke spell, brainless, that you can dodge. And then her Q is kind of underwhelming maybe. Like her Q is cool in the sense that you can like stop dashes and stuff, but maybe it just has too little range or too little CC, I don't know. It's also hard to balance Renata because she's just essentially a counter pick champion. So in some team comps she will have mega value and in other games she will be completely useless. And she's also probably a pro play problem where the moment she's remotely good, she just becomes too good in pro compared to solo queue because pros always pick Renata when she's remotely good. So I don't know, just a very hard champion to balance, I guess. Route buffing AP, rally AP, but not Seraphine AP. Yeah, I think they just threw Seraphine into the gutter, honestly. It's kind of rough. Honestly, like Seraphine reworks need to be studied because like the amount of reworks they gave her, like Freak literally gave her like what, 2 reworks in a row, like in a very short span of time, and neither of them really fixed any issues she had. And then her player base, I mean her winner just kind of got fucked. I don't know if like her player base got fucked. Maybe the problem is that it's just hard to make her be an AP carry and a support at the same time, because then she's either completely useless or too unbalanced. Maybe Riot just needs to give her another rework and make her only a support or something like that. Like, because I think support is her strongest player base, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe they just have to lean and accept the fact that support is her primary role, and then if she's played mid lane occasionally, that's fine. But they just need to lean, I think, towards like one role being her primary role. I don't know, like... I don't know what the issue is. I mean, her gameplay is just like hard to balance, I guess, because it's just like her W is just such a broken spell in a vacuum. Just kind of like a Sona. Like, I think she should just be a support. Like, I think Riot just fucked up by introducing her as a mid laner. I think her kit is just better suited as a support, but I guess they didn't want her to be a support because she's too similar to Sona, so I don't have a good solution. What I would do is I would just make her support, I think, and make support her primary audience, and then see where it goes from there. Remove the shield and make her a mid laner. Ooh. Hey, that is an interesting suggestion. Remove her W, and then her kit would actually make a lot more sense as a mid laner, yeah. Alright, 2 things I need to talk about. Here's the first thing. Do you guys remember this right here? It started with this tweet. Beat Thayger, do well in ERL, get LEC spot, get benched before LEC even starts, play 3 series and you're out for the year. Thanks for playing. And a lot of people in the comments talking about it. Then I will dominate. Obviously Thayger hasn't looked good, but this was a completely fucked situation, so hopefully teams are open to really seeing what he's about in the future without reading too much into his play in this completely fucked situation that he walked into. And I agree with this, and I want to again go back to the clip that I did about a month ago, where I talked about exactly this same problem. I predicted this was going to happen before it happened, because the reality is that this is not Na'Vi that he's joining Rogue, right? The current roster of Na'Vi is basically just Rogue. It's literally just Rogue. They have almost exactly the same players, minus Patrick, and they have exactly the same staff, so it's just Rogue. And again, I talked about this a few weeks ago on my clip again, that there's a very high chance this player will shoot his career because he joins Na'Vi. He should not join this team, even if he gets a spot. He was an ERL player, right? And I guess if you're an ERL player, you're thinking, well, this is an LEC spot, I have to take the opportunity. No, this is a bad opportunity to take because the situation is just fucked. You're joining a team that is just deemed to fail. So hopefully people realize that what I was talking about weeks ago is true. And then the second thing I need to talk about. Actually, there's 3 things I need to talk about. Here's the number 2 thing I need to talk about. How 2025 Minion update quietly killed the fun in top lane. Intro. Any high elo top laner from previous seasons will tell you that over 90% of top lane is wave management, so it can be easy for top lane to feel like it is 0% anything. Even though the Minion update was arguably the most impactful change in 2025, it isn't even listed as a change in the feedback service. Very fair point here. I will add that I peak 225 LP master. Okay, cool. Freezing barely exists anymore. Freezing wasn't always a good idea, as you're just not playing against your direct opponent. You want to try and get a lead. Freezing wasn't without counterplay. Freezing was a powerful option when utilized correctly, but there were answers to it, and it helped differentiate between good and bad players. Slow pushing. The benefits of slow pushing exist barely more than freezing benefits right now, which is not much. The minions simply die too quickly to get good slow push in. Fast pushing. This exists. I think it's probably your best option a large portion of the game, of the time. Cheat to recalls and teleport. If you decide to recall, you will lose minions if you don't teleport. Minions simply push too fast to get a healthy tempo recall, and that feels really unfortunate. Cheat to recall simply doesn't exist anymore. Consistency. Wave behavior used to be predictable. This is not the case anymore. Old RNG was missing a cannon minion due to bad minion targeting. New RNG is losing an entire wave and probably lane due to minions showing way faster than expected. Conclusion. What was arguably the most fundamental part of League for 15 years, I don't think I could differentiate a gold player versus a master player with wave management alone anymore. There's also a luck factor to wave management, so of course win rates will even out a little bit. Okay, here's my take. I think this Redditor is correct. Everything that I just read is correct. Which is why, when the minion wave changes happened in League, I literally said I don't like it and I think it's a bad idea. Obviously, the reason why Riot did it is they simplified the game. But I 100% agree with these takes. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Laning phase is gone from League. It doesn't matter. Now this person, okay, let me say this part. This person is talking about top lane. I think it's even worse on mid lane and ADC. I think top lane is actually still has the most important laning phase importance out of any role, okay? If we're talking about laning phase importance, I think top lane is still the most important one when it comes to laning phase. So this person is talking that top lane feels bad to play. Mid lane and ADC are even worse because there is no laning phase in those roles. And it's the reason why champions like Kayle got mega buffed with this new minion wave changes, because it is so easy to turtle. In general, every scaling champion got mega buffed. Laning phase is so fucking unrewarding to play. And a lot of League players, here's something that people don't realize. Laning phase, in my opinion, was the most fun part about League for all these years. And a lot of League players feel the same way about it. And it was the number one primary source of having fun in the game. And with these new minion wave changes, it is horrible. I think this was just a bad idea by Riot, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it wasn't just minion wave changes alone, right? They also made it so you get home guards on every recall, right? That's another change that made laning phase a lot less skilled. I'm happy somebody brought this up and talks about this. I think this is insanely forgotten. I actually probably agree that this was the most impactful change in 2025. Like, for sure, one of the most impactful changes. I don't even think adding Atakan or changing the map or whatever they did was as impactful. I mean, feats. Maybe you could argue feats are more impactful than this. Okay, sure. It is for sure super impactful. We need to have more discussion about this. I think Riot needs to do something about this, for sure. Really good thread. Rare good thread on Reddit. Okay, next thing I need to talk about is this. The next Java in line for the League subreddit community and Twitter community is this right here. There is this guy Pentaless who made an account in Iron or whatever, had the MMR of Iron account, went 40-0 with Nunu because he's like a challenger Nunu player, and then the Rioter, whatever his name was, the Drav Levin, the Rioter that's insanely active right now, literally commented on his tweet saying that he will get punished, and then apparently, I don't know what happened, like all his accounts got banned or something. Here it says suspended for 30 days. So I guess all his accounts have been banned for 30 days, if I'm understanding this correctly. So Riot recently stated on their newest Riot Dev blog that they're gonna take more action towards smurfing and boosting and blah 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 blah. And I guess they didn't lie. Or did they? I just think definitely this person deserve to be banned for going 40-0. I don't know. I think smurfing is bad. I'm against smurfing. But in the last 14 years of League's existence, there was never any punishment, nor was there any statement that smurfing isn't allowed or something like that. So in theory, I don't think this person is really breaking the rule. Even though I'm also against smurfing, by the way. Now, if you read the tweet of what this Geo11 router said, as far as I understand, and I could be wrong, but as far as I understood it, this person didn't get banned for smurfing. This person got banned because he had a botted account. So that's a completely separate topic from my understanding. I mean, I could be wrong here. So the reason why personally, I have a really hard time supporting one or the other in this situation is because I think this situation is kind of weird. With everything that I've read, and I also feel like this is more of a target because this guy made the tweet. I don't know if Riot is gonna be this harsh at punishing everybody. This honestly more felt like the Rioter just saw a tweet and felt like, I need to be the king here and punish this guy. That's how I read it so far. But I could be wrong. Maybe Riot will actually enforce these rules harsher in the future. So I think the future will tell, but I'm definitely I just have a weird feeling about this whole situation so far. I don't want to lean towards one side or the other because I think it's unfair. Yeah, I feel like Riot kind of wanted to make an example out of him. I don't know. Swag is a good person to keep eye on, bro. Like, you know, I mean, you know, like most upvoted comment about Zwag, right? The YouTuber. Which I disagree, right? Like, but at the same time, how many YouTubers do exactly the same thing as that Zwag guy? If it's not him, then it's going to be someone else. And also, like, the reason why I don't want to side with everybody here is because I feel like people are gonna cross lines really easily here, okay? Like, for example, this. Let's all Fang, ban them all, 2.8k upvotes. Again, I am not against smurfing. I'm sorry, I am against smurfing. I'm misspeaking, you know. But I feel like, okay, let me tell you what I feel like is gonna happen and where the problem is gonna lie. I feel like people are gonna take everything too far, and there's gonna be a challenger player playing against a master, and then people are gonna deem that as smurfing, and then we're gonna have such a huge problem because I don't think challenger player playing in master is smurfing. I don't know. I'm just very like cautious about this whole situation. I just want to say that the last time a Rioter was this confident on social media was 10 years ago when Riot Lite, or something like that was his name back then, was like flaming people, banning people, doing basically what this guy is doing, Geo11, the same, like, he did like exactly the same. I was there back then. And then that Rioter, Riot Lite, got exposed for some really bad stuff back then, and then he got fucking kicked from Riot, right? He got, he lost his job instantly when people realized what kind of a person that guy is. So, I don't know, I also I'm worried about this person specifically, not because if they did something else, but I feel like when you're putting yourself in a spotlight like this guy's just going on Twitter saying, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, and banning people. This guy's gonna put a target on his back. There's gonna be some people taking personal what he's doing, and that's why I just don't think it's a good idea for Rioter to be this upfront with everything in nowadays, in modern era of culture and social. And some people are saying that, isn't it weird that he gets banned on all accounts? Shouldn't only the account be banned that got botted? And I think that's maybe a fair point. I don't know what the answer to that is. But I also think, like, the reason why I think this is weird is because, like, I just think there's too many streamers out there. I think there's too many pro players out there. I think there's too many players out there in general that are either smurfing or have a botted account or did elo boosting. I just think the scope of a problem is so large. Where do you draw the line? Who do you punish and who do you not punish? Because I feel like this can very easily become a case of favoritism or targeting, where one person just gets punished because he gets targeted and then the other people don't. I'm very skeptical of this thing, and I'm not gonna lean on Riot's side, nor will I lean on this guy's side. I think people need to stop jumping to conclusions like ban them all, this and that. Like, I feel like people are just tunnel visioning really hard on this problem. I mean, it's a lot deeper than that. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. It's 9:40. I would love to play more, but I think I'm gonna need to head off. Been streaming almost for 8 hours. Yeah.